Good evening everyone, welcome back to Tom Plays Factorio for absolute beginners. So, wanting to seriously ramp up, well, a few things honestly. Gear wheels would be good because we really need to get our research done, but at the same time I really want to get this wall built. So steel for ammunition is also important. Better grab some more bits of wall as well. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna continue through here. As if it wasn't there. Okay, out of pylons. Should have checked that as well as the walls. Just replace that. I think we're mostly okay on the other stuff. Do a quick run by the mines. Copper looks good. Iron looks good insofar as it goes. Oh, coal. Coal looks good. Iron up here looks good, okay. Moving along nice and smoothly. Right, so for now I'm just going to keep heading east with this. Kind of need to decide at some point when we actually turn down, but at the moment we're still level with our main operations. Ooh, another potential entrance. It's interesting. Right, well, I'll investigate that in a minute. Never really had this before. These sort of natural entryways. This kind of makes a natural wall as well. Just a shame it isn't really at the point I was aiming for. I'm still tempted to kind of use it. Maybe carry on the wall down here. The only problem then is that I can't put gun turrets on this side. So it's whether we really want to risk using it as an entrance in that case. I mean, of course we could always wall it across and put a gate there. Seems a bit of a shame though. Yeah, well, let's at least put a few gun turrets either side. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, but I'm going to need to use a fast one for here. Okay, logistics is finished, which is good. Logistics 2. So at the moment that literally just gives us faster equivalents of the transport belt stuff we have. But it also allows us to start researching the railway, which is what I'm primarily after. A few more fast ones here because we've got corners everywhere. And then we'll presumably continue the wall from there. And that's where things get a bit more regular. a fast one. That should do. And we have one more power pylon left, so we can do one more. Okay, that's a little better. So if we were going to be very sparing, we could start going down here. But I'm kind of thinking we can incorporate all of this area too, and I don't really want our research matrix to be quite that close to the edge. So yeah, not perfect, but progress, which is good. How are we doing for iron? And just grab all of the iron. A bit of steel going. Would especially get some gears going, gear wheels. Should help with the research a bit. Okay. Alright, some of our piercing rounds are going there as well. Alright. No wonder it's taking a while. Okay, that's fine. So that's your gun turrets. We've also got iron coming up here. Oh, I see, yeah. We're just making pipes. Which is good. Lots of pipes, never a bad thing. Should probably turn some of those into pipes to ground, which are generally what we're going to want to be using as a rule. Oh yeah, we could do making more fast inserters. So if we now pick up a few more of these. Get the green valves moving more. And I think we're a little low on our own electronic circuits. So we'll just grab some more of those. Clearly need to check on the mines again. So in theory, at least for iron ore, we could actually drop it off at a rail station around here. Rail networks are always fun to work out, but we'll look at them more once we've actually got them, which hopefully won't be long. This does worry me a bit. Like, generally the idea of having a base is to have an area where you know there aren't going to be any enemies. So you can move around safely, and having a couple of open areas kind of goes against that. Definitely gonna have to work out what we can do in terms of doors for that one, if nothing else. Just seemed a shame not to use those natural formations. It's not something I've seen much before. Especially because they happen to be exactly where I was building my wall anyway. Pretty much. Okay, that's fine. Research ticking along nicely. Load our remaining inserters. Grab some more transport belts. Cheat on the steel production again. Actually, let's cheat on the gear wheel production too. Oh yeah, I think it's 50 where this splits into two, so carrying 47 should be no problem at all, I think. Okay. Brilliant, we should have railways any second. Won't necessarily give us everything we need, mind you. Okay, so we can build rails, we can build locomotives, cargo wagons and iron sticks. I'm fairly sure we could already build iron sticks, but not to worry. What else will we need? Automated rail transportation is what we'll also need. I have no intention of riding these things manually. So railways are something we're going to need lots of. I believe they're used in one of the science packs again. And I think they need stone in its raw form. Also steel and iron sticks, okay? Locomotives need the engines, of course, but we'll be building those by hand pretty much. And ditto with the cargo wagons. Okay, and those are our faster transport belts, which we could also actually start manufacturing in theory. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, I need some stone. kind of feels like the obvious place to make rail would be up here. I've even got some ready-made iron stick production going on. So yeah, going to need an assembly machine. In fact, might as well make a couple just in case. Am I going to be too hemmed in if I go here? A lot of natural formations around. Let's go with it. So you are going to make me railways. Is the plan? Okay. Already I'm feeling too hemmed in. Gonna need an iron chest to contain them all for now, because at the moment they're purely for our own use. Sticks and stones. Okay. Little nervous about this, but these do seem to back up a fair bit. It's in full, is it? It's just lacking in steel. Yeah, makes sense. I suppose once that goes back, we can always make some splitters then. Or we could just go around. I was going to go through. But actually, there's plenty of room. So we can put splitters in, but we'll see how it goes for now, because I think they'll just take what they need and most of it will come down here at the moment. So that just leaves the sticks, I guess. Which... well, I mean in theory we could just split them off that way, which would be fine. Partly going up here just because I don't think we're going to need this space much for anything else. Oh, didn't actually select them. Okay, so that's good. We've got our railways going. Brilliant. So, the big question is going to be how we're going to set these up. So there's two basic ways to set railways up. One of them is to have them going around in a circle, so they're always going in the same direction. So the advantage of that is simplicity. Your signals can be nice and simple, and yeah, it's literally just that. The disadvantage is, of course, it takes up more room, because instead of just having a line, you've got to have an entire circle. However, having had a go with both, I do prefer the circles. I do find them a lot easier to deal with. So probably getting attacked there, that's not good. Probably going to go with circle lines. Just realising that the obvious place for us to drop off iron is on the opposite side of the base to anywhere there is iron. That's probably not always going to be the case. We're probably going to end up going up here and finding iron. But I'm also thinking we do need a copper drop off down here, so maybe I should actually do the copper first. And we could even incorporate an iron drop off into that, which might be easier. Okay, so I think the obvious place to have a station would actually be down here for our first little station. So obviously going to need some rail for that. Thankfully we had a fair bit of stuff stored up, so we've made at least a decent few. So we can work on those. We are so going to need more steel though. Yeah, let's get a decent distance away from everything else, just to make sure. Okay, so the railways, when you place them, actually there's much better ways to place them than that, but we'll cover that when we're doing them properly. You get a little barrier at each end, but we can in fact place a train on here now. I'd actually quite like the automated stuff to be set up before we place down the actual rail setup. So I think on this occasion I might literally just feed the copper into here. So that can be our copper feed. Iron feed, probably similar, but I'll not take it directly past the mines this time. But yeah, so that's good. It's got an iron feed and a copper feed, and we've got an iron mine that needs replacing. Helps if your transport belts are going in the right direction. Brilliant. Well, I'm thinking about it, we should make some more shortcuts. Make a shortcut for those pylons, even though we don't use them very often. And we'll make a shortcut for railways. How are we doing? Insufficient gear wheels as usual. Okay, easier to just do the inserters over here though. Right, I'm gonna need a whole load more transport belts. It's the first time we've depleted those for a while. And if we've got some iron handy, we desperately need some steel to make the railways. And thinking about it, we're also going to need to make our actual vehicles. So, we grab all the handy steel. Grab some engines. And we'll make our first locomotive and a couple of cargo wagons. We can then put any engines we haven't used back, because we're pretty much only ever going to use them for making vehicles. So we don't really want to be carrying them around as a rule. I can actually drop this steel directly down. So one of the other questions that we need to answer, apart from circular versus line rails, is how many carriages we do per locomotive. So the more carriages you do, the slower your trains are, the larger the stations you're going to need, but the more you can carry in one go, obviously. It's kind of, yeah, I would generally say that one is too few. Probably going to go with 2. Let's just make this like we did before for now. And I'm going to place our locomotives. So the vehicles you can have in your inventory until you place them down. Obviously the trains we can only really place on a track, and you need to watch which around they are. You can see the front of the train, it's slightly pointy. So pretty much decided I'm going to have them going clockwise on this track, and then I can just put the cargo wagons behind it. It's worth noting that even though I've gone with 2 carriages to this one, not every train that uses this track has to have 2 carriages, of course. We can have 1 carriage trains. We could also increase them to 4 carriages. Really gonna have to watch that in terms of defence. What we can't do yet is make a station, so I really would like to get a station made, but we need the automated rail transportation for that, for which it would appear we need gear wheels again. Okay, gear wheels. You know what, I'm actually looking at this and I'm thinking this is probably a bottleneck in itself. We should actually replace that with a fast one. Probably ditto for this. And this is pretty much where we're going to do the replacement of slower stuff with faster stuff is if we can see it as a bit of a bottleneck. Like here, it's not so much that the gear wheels are taking a while to produce, it's that the inserter was just not fast enough. So now we've replaced with a fast inserter, this backlog is actually going down. Which is good. So I think we've got something similar here, where we could really do, not so much in the steel I don't think. There's a real need. Oh, it actually needs one of each. So actually, yeah, we need it in the steel as much as the others. Okay. Just not obvious now because I dumped a load of steel in there. But the others we actually do need a fair amount. Okay, that's a bit more like it. Do a bit more with this. Okay, so while our transportation catches up, the railways, while you can place them down normally, they do have this other option where, which you really do want to use, where you get a little arrow and you can extend, you just click on the arrow once and then you get this kind of blueprint for how it places. They've improved this. Okay, this is one thing I do like about the update. Hadn't seen this, but the railroads have more options for the curves now than they did. So what we principally want to do to start with these, when you've placed enough, it's generally you just want to click on the railroad and that'll get you off it. The first thing we're going to want to do with these is leave the base. So this station is going to be within our base. I'm going to clear you out of the way, and ideally I'm going to want it to go out of our base in a straight line. So I'm just going to have these go down to start with, and from there on we're going to be making a circle to a place where we want to build a mine. Which to start with, we're going to be looking for coal, iron and copper, of course. Unfortunately, copper's all up here, so we're probably going to need to go all the way around. Unless we can go around this way. But yeah, we're likely to be having to clear out a bunch of natives. And we're also going to need some defence down here, in a bigger way. In fact, let me just place a random gun turret here. I'll give it half of my armour-piercing rounds. At least that gives the train a bit of defence. The natives will attack trains. They won't attack railways, but they will attack trains. They do sometimes damage railways, but it's more accidental. They won't go out of the way to attack them. So you don't need gun turrets all the way down your railway. You should generally be fine. Let me just grab some more armour-piercing rounds. And we'll stick these 4 in here. Just going to check on the iron mine again. Although they are actually all being used, those. I thought they weren't, which is why I thought I needed to check on it. No, we're fine. Okay, well while it finishes the automation, I'm going to check on the wall again. So the difference between the automated rail transport and your standard rail transport is that at the moment we would have to move the trains manually. We'd have to get in them, we'd have to travel with them, and of course it's not ideal, which I think is why you're allowed to move straight onto automated pretty much as soon as you discover the trains. With the automated trains, we'll be able to leave them doing their thing. But it also means we'll be setting up proper stations. So the automation knows when to stop and when to start. Bit of extra stone. And what did I forget to pick up? Pylons. Well, let's just hope no one attacks. I think the enemy will attack walls, which is annoying because that would really help me work out where our base needs to be. I probably just wanted to go slightly beyond that bit there. Doesn't matter that much, I suppose, though. It'd just be nice if I could plot the walls out in advance without worrying about them being attacked, but obviously if I could do that I wouldn't need the gun turrets at all, because they're essentially there to protect the walls. It's actually the walls that keep the enemy out. So it does absolutely make sense. Oops. Still, we're nowhere near yet. So that's fine. It is a point, actually, at some point I could do with making a feed from that mine. But we probably want some more protection first before we worry about that. So what's going on down here? We're actually low on transport belts this time. Still, we don't have very far to go. So I'm not going to worry too much. Yeah. I think we're fine. Definitely need to worry more about iron than copper. Oh, copper is completely backed up. Coal is good. Excellent. Let's just grab some more iron plates. I suspect we're going to need them. In fact, I might grab some gear wheels. I doubt I've got any in stock. And with that in mind, I should really stick some in the transport section. You can have some as well. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to build what we need by hand. Okay, so principally, if we look at this, we've got the actual train stop, what I'm thinking of as a train station. We've got your basic rail signal, which is like a traffic light, and you've got your rail chain signal. The rail chain signals I don't think we're going to need because we're doing the trains in a loop. The rail signal we will absolutely need. And the train stop we're going to need more than anything. So the train stop, basically you place down where you want your train to stop, and it very helpfully gives you a visual as to where all the carriages are going to be. So if I'm just doing 2 carriages, if I highlight it I can see where they are. And what I'm going to want to do to start with is offload iron. You see, it brings up the visual here as well, it knows what it is that we want to do. Actually, let's do the iron ones further back. So we're going to want to filter these so that they will only offload iron ore. So I'm assuming that rather than process the iron in the mine, the little mini mining base, we're instead going to send it back here for processing. Which could end up being a problem. Actually, do we want to do that so far down? I don't think we do. I gotta either have 2 streams coming up here and then we'll join them at this point, because I want the iron going both sides of the conveyor belt. But I also don't particularly mind having 2 streams. Okay, so the train would naturally stop here, but I also want some travel. You have to watch which way around you put these, so that again it gives you a little visual. So I'd like the train to stop so that it's not blocking the station when it stops. We'll cover this more in a bit. And I'm going to move it back here just in case we decide to up the number of carriages. So yeah, essentially the idea is that the train will automatically come to this stop, it'll offload any iron, and that will come up here. The one problem I do have here is that all the processing is going to be done only by these 6. So we'll be missing an awful lot up here. So actually in some ways we're better off, rather than going that way, diverting it so it goes up here instead. Obviously I don't want to interfere with any coal mines we've got, but we could run a little trail up to there, which I think would be better. Because that path will go through all of the steel furnaces, so it'll still hit these ones that this track would hit, but it'll also hit the others. So yeah, that'll be a better option. So right, I better... oh, new research. In fact, yeah, let's think about that next time. So, better stop there, but in theory, we do now have a second iron feed. Like a train station that can drop off iron. So we just need to set up a mining base somewhere out in the world. Worth noting that we also need power up here. We're also going to need to send power to the mining base. But we will cover that next time. And the train needs essentially coal to run. You can run them with wood. And maybe other things, but generally we're going to use coal. So yeah, I'm going to have an awful lot to do. But I'm pleased with the progress. Yeah, I've extended the wall a fair way. We're very much on the verge of being able to start bringing it down. And then I'm going to want to take it across there. And then we'll probably just top it off down here. So, decent sized base, but I don't think it's insane. Not completely. That's not good. Oh right, okay. So it's not good, but it could have been worse. So this gun turret took down the natives, but it does kind of make clear why we need to finish the wall off. Might possibly even start building the wall down here and just manually equip some gun turrets, because yeah, I really have taken too long with building the wall and things are about to start getting dicey. Can of course use this water as a sort of natural barrier. So yeah, gonna have a lot to do next time. Need to speed things up a bit. But for now, that's good. I will leave that there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.